Okay, guys, it is the West region right here. We got North Carolina versus the winner of Howard Wagner, which was
Wagner.
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 Yep. So I'm going simple, keeping it simple, and that is UNC.
Yeah.
UNC.
Yeah. Congrats on your first win, Wagner, but the ride's over.
Yeah.
UNC.
So the first game of the tournament actually is Mississippi State versus Michigan State. I'm going with the Tom Izzo factor. Michigan State reminds me of Syracuse. They always find ways to make it in as like that seven to bubble team, 7 seed to bubble team. And people are like, oh, they don't deserve it, which to me, this year, they didn't deserve it. But just like Syracuse, they just find ways to go on a huge run. I got Michigan State winning against Mississippi State.
And like you said, they didn't deserve it, and they absolutely did not deserve it this year. I'm going Mississippi State. I think Toto Smith is going to dominate the Michigan State big men. That they're just it's just a carousel of big men. They're just all terrible, and I think Toto Smith, if he can dominate inside, and I think if Josh Hubbard can hit some shots and run the offense, I think Mississippi State wins this game. Give me the Bulldogs.
Derek, you're the decider.
I would love for Michigan State to win, but the problem is everyone talks about the analytics factor and how good Michigan State looks. When have results ever reflected that with Michigan State?
Yeah.
They were trash at the beginning of the year. They had a good middle, a trash end, and it's like we're really going to count on this to be the team that's going to make a deep run. I don't feel that way. I'll take Mississippi State. I know that it's a little bit of a risk because they've lost 4 of 6, 5 of 7, something along those lines.
They
But
did make a good
at the
run
same
in
time,
the
at the same
SEC.
time, their defense is good, and they also have Josh Hubbard, who's one of the best three-point shooters in the entire tournament right now. So I would say give me that shot, and I'll trust that over Izzo and Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
Michael,
did
I'm
look good
disappointed in
in
They're
you, man.
they're
I
a
thought you liked
sleeper.
Chris Jans, man. I thought you was a
If
big
they
Chris
figure
Jans
it
guy.
out, they're a sleeper.
Chris Jans is better than Tom Izzo, man. Come on, man. Stop bugging with that.
We
Come
got
on, man.
St. Mary's versus Grand Canyon, and I'm very 50-50 on this one. I'm going with the team, though, that knows how to win in Spokane, and that's a team who beat Gonzaga on the road this year, and that's St. Mary's. This is one of the best St. Mary's teams I recall. Mahaney is a young Jimmer Fredette. Just remember I said that. I'm going St. Mary's.
Yeah, I watched Grand Canyon in their WAC championship, and I was not impressed actually. I feel like they should have beaten Texas Arlington by a lot more than what they did with how many turnovers they forced and how many easy shots they had and they missed, And then they left a ton of points at the free throw line, which is shocking. And I feel like you're gonna have to play a perfect game against St. Mary's, especially if you're a mid major like Grand Canyon. I'm going St. Mary's.
The thing that I don't like about St. Mary's in this case is largely because even though they've made it to the tournament, and even though they win in Spokane, for whatever reason, they don't win that much in March. It's been a weakness of theirs, and we can attribute that maybe to the fact that the West Coast Conference has been St. Mary's and Gonzaga and everyone else for the longest time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Grand Canyon looks like a team that can control the pace a little bit. Tyon Grant Forster, great story, phenomenal player. Bryce Drew, one of the best mid-major coaches
and he's
out there. I think he can match up with Randy Bennett rather well. And I would take Grand Canyon. I think this, even though like the lower seeds are kind of meh, the 12 seeds are arguably the best they've ever been.
Yeah. I do like the 12 seeds a lot this year.
Yep. I think if there's a 5 seed that comes out, it's going to be a dogfight the entire way.
James Madison and GCU, I think, are real good 12 seeds. Bama versus Charleston, this is going to be a shootout. Bama does not play a lick of defense. Charleston has a very good offense. Pat Kelsey is my pick for Oklahoma State's next head coach. I'm making a strong push for him. I'll just say that with someone in the athletic department. I am preaching that Pat Kelsey needs to be our guy. So we'll see how that goes. I got Charleston upsetting Alabama. I just think this year, I know that last year they were getting extremely hyped up. I was hyping them up, but I think a lot of people fell in love with this Charleston team. And this year, they're a true sleeper. People aren't hyping up this Charleston team this year, which makes them even more dangerous, in my opinion. Going with the Cougars of Charleston. We all love the Cougars.
Yeah. Yeah, about that Charleston team last year, I just think they had an unfortunate draw because they played a tough defensive team in San Diego State. This matchup against Alabama is the complete opposite. Alabama plays no defense. They allow 81 points per game, which is one of the worst marks in the entire country. It is god awful defense. I mean, it's like 5 matadors on the floor
Yeah.
when Alabama's defending. And it's just a pain to watch. And Charleston can put the ball in the bucket, you know. I gotta go with Charleston the upset as well. Give me the Cougars.
Yep.
Who did you have?
I mean,
Derek?
Alabama's got a lot of good offensive players. Mark Sears, Aaron Estrada, Grant
Yeah.
Nelson.
I did like Estrada.
But again, it's just like teams like Kentucky and Florida. They cannot play defense to save their lives.
Yeah.
I would almost argue their defense is worse than Kentucky's.
Yeah, I can see that.
I feel like Charleston's defense isn't great, but
It isn't
somewhere
bad.
where I trust them to make more stops on
Yeah,
a
me
very
too.
good Alabama offense than a terrible Alabama defense can stop
A good
also
Charleston.
almost equally as good Charleston offense. So I like Charleston. I think just like Michael said, San Diego State was a tough draw for them, and we saw why. Matt Bradley kind of took that run in his hands and went with it. But this time, I think Charleston gets a friendlier draw.
Yeah, absolutely,
like it.
100% correct. Yeah, definitely a way friendlier draw with Alabama not being able to defend. I think they favor more of a team that likes to run up and down, and instead of like a strict half court game. So I like Charleston.
And now we got Clemson, New Mexico. I'm actually going to keep this brief. I'm going to wait till next round, hoping y'all pick the team I'm going to pick. I have a good feeling y'all will.
I think we will.
New Mexico right
I think
here.
so. See, you're saying New Mexico over Clemson?
I am New Mexico.
Yeah, I like New Mexico as well. I think that this is a team that as a team built for a Cinderella run. Like, you know, they have your experienced guard play. You know, you have some really good big men that really hit the offensive glass really hard. They defend, they work hard, and this is a team that I think Clemson's overseeded a bit. I don't think they're a 6 seed.
Yeah.
I would have them more as a 7, but I think New Mexico is definitely underseeded. I think they should have been a 9 seed, but they're as a bit stealer is ridiculous. Give me New Mexico over Clemson.
I like New Mexico being underseeded than Clemson being overseeded. I think Clemson's in the right spot. The problem is they have just drawn a terrible matchup because Clemson, they do everything you want them to do well, but there's not a single aspect where you can point at them and say, oh yeah, they're elite in this category.
While
New Mexico, they have
elite
amazing guard
offensively.
play. Yes, and the Golden Knights just tied the game up. Sorry,
Yeah,
but
That's all right.
it's still faster
I'll
than
probably be
Virginia.
the same
But
way when
anyway,
USF hits 2 free throws.
but yeah,
So-
New Mexico, I like them. I think they have everything you're looking for in a Cinderella. I have them going far.
I do too.
So,
I do.
actually, oh wait, I don't want to spoil anything for tomorrow. So, yeah, New Mexico's a good team.
They're a good team, yeah. So we got Baylor versus the toothpaste of Colgate. I'm going Baylor. I don't think Colgate's that good this year. I think Baylor's guards are really good. Scott Drew is, in my opinion, the best coach in the country. And I'm gonna go with Baylor. Bridges,
Let's
Love,
go. That's two free throws.
um,
Dude.
Jacoby Walter, I mean, Dennis, you can just keep naming all these guards. Baylor has everything. And that matchup versus New Mexico versus Baylor, excellent possible guards in that matchup.
Yeah, Baylor.
Yep. Everyone talked about okay, I'm trying to figure out the best way to put this. Everyone's talking
Okay.
about how the Southland was a bad conference.
Oh, Patriot.
But Patriot League has been god awful for a while now. And yet people still believe that Colgate's made a dynasty of it, and good for Matt Langle to make good on that. But there's a reason why his teams do not do well in March.
Yep.
It's because
Right.
the level of competition catches up to them, and it's the same case here. I don't think Baylor is that promising a contender, but at the same time, they do a lot of things well. Scott Drew is one of the best coaches in the nation, and I think they win this handily.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It amazes
Oh,
me.
I definitely I think the lock of the entire tournament is Baylor minus 13.5. And I think they win by 25 plus.
I
I
I want to say
I
13
said
and a
that-
half is a margin that Colgate loses. So
I know.
it's a good bet.
So yeah,
if you're looking for it.
I said in the beginning, like before the bracket come out, whatever 3 or 2 seed that draws Colgate should be smiling. They're
Yeah.
going to win by
It
25 plus.
amazes me.
Like this
how many-
Colgate team is horrible.
It
and
amazes me how
They're
many
not
people
good.
are saying Colgate is the best 14 seed. And I'm like, you got
I think they're the
you
worst
got
14
Oakland.
seed.
That's
Oakland
Akron.
is way better than Colgate.
Yeah,
I
Akron.
take
I will
Akron. I take Oakland. Who's the
I'll
other
take Morehead
14
State
seed
over them
again?
too.
Yeah. I
Oh,
think
Morehead State. Yeah,
I take
yeah.
the,
I like all those more than I
I
like
take the
Colgate.
15 in this region over Colgate. I take
so would I.
Yeah,
I would too.
We got
It-
Dayton
it's
versus
it's a good
Nevada.
draw.
And this one's an interesting matchup. I got Nevada winning, which the Mountain West finally gonna show up in a March Madness tournament this year. I think Dayton has zero depth. I don't think they're that good. They showed that very lackluster the past couple, let's say past month or two. They've been very lackluster. I got the Wolfpack of Nevada winning. Sorry, Derek. I know you're a UNLV rebel, but
Don't worry. If it helps, I'll go next. I have Nevada too. Dayton has nothing past Deron Holmes almost, at least as far as consistent offensive threats. Nevada, they'll play hard. They play well.
Lucas,
Just get it over with.
Blackshear, Davidson, those 3 players are really good for Nevada. And Alford
I
is one of the
feel-
best coaches.
I feel
in the
gross having to say that,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Alford
make that
is a
3
great
for
but it's
3.
coach.
also true.
Yeah, make that 3
I could
for
be
3.
I could be
Nevada over Dayton.
intellectually honest.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree with both of you on Nevada. I got Nevada over Dayton too.
Nice. And now this is
And
where
South Florida just won 83-77. So
let's go.
Yay!
Go
moving
Lakers
on to the
run.
second round of the NIT. Hell yeah, baby.
Nice. And now we got Arizona versus Long Beach State. And this is where I have a 15-2 upset. I got Long Beach State Dirtbags Beach, whatever you want to call it.
49ers. They used to be called that too. I
Yeah,
think it's crazy.
I'm gonna pick them over Arizona and let the chaos happen. This is gonna be the 4th straight year of a 15 seed winning, and possibly 4th straight year of a 15 seed making the Sweet 16.
Wow, I love the call, and I think that that Marcus Sahonis, he always shows up in their big games, right? Remember, he had 35 against Michigan, 28 against USC, 25 in the Big West Championship, and he even had 22 against DePaul. I know, I know DePaul is bad, but look, I know USC and Michigan both had their struggles as well, but those were 3 true Power 5 road games that they went on the road and won.
Yeah.
And then and he shows up in those big games. And this is a big game against Arizona, you know. And it would not shock me if Marcus Cojones has a big game against Arizona. That's not that great defensively, you know. Like they like to go up and down, you know, and they like to score a lot of points, but they will give up a fair share of points, right? And then another concern with Arizona is Omar Ballo and the free throw line. You know, they're just not good friends. You know, like
Yeah.
he's so they might go to Hackabalo or something. I know it, and it's an effective strategy because he only shoots like 50% from the foul line. That's like basically getting a stop. And you know,
Yeah.
I think that Long Beach State is definitely capable of pulling this upset, and you know the 15s can beat the 2. But I don't know, man. This one's tough. I'm gonna go with Arizona.
Ooh.
I wanted to like Long Beach State so badly. And you almost had me with them when we talked about it. But Long Beach State does a lot of bad things that Arizona is going to take advantage of. Their transition defense is not good. They don't really turn the ball over. And Sahonis has a big game, but it's one thing to score big against Michigan, DePaul. It's another to score big against Arizona.
Yeah.
So I'm going to err on the side of caution and say Arizona. I wouldn't be shocked because Tommy Lloyd's been responsible for a few really bad drops. But
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
another
like
good point.
if I was going to take a 15, I feel like I'd either want Western Kentucky over a Colectless Marquette or a what was the one in the East? What was the one in the East again?
Iowa State
Damn.
versus South Dakota State.
Yeah, I've heard that one a little bit. I don't believe it that much, but South Dakota State has length, so they could make it a problem. Long Beach State, I just don't think they do a whole lot of things, particularly, at least not well enough yet.
No, not just like overall.
It sucks, but
Sad.
but given the absolute chaos that this bracket is going to end up being, we need at least a little bit of stability.
True. UNC versus Mississippi State, and yesterday I had Michigan State over UNC. This one, I'm going UNC over Mississippi State.
It was a good year overall. It didn't end, but the first thought on a lot of people's minds was something that you talked about on Select.
I genuinely don't think it matters if Mississippi State or Michigan State win. I would take them both over this North Carolina team. North Carolina, there's just a lot of problems with outside Davison Bacot. I don't really know who's that phenomenal on that team. Like we know Hubert Davis is a good coach. He's proven that since he took over for Roy Williams, but this mix of talents, I just don't get it. Michigan State, again, for as badly as they've struggled, their analytic profile is very good. Like if it wasn't for their record, if it wasn't for results just so far away from the process, I would say they are a much better team than what they are. And Mississippi State, if it wasn't for that bad stretch, I would say they're in the same boat. They have a lot of good things about them that you're looking for in a potential sleeper to make it. So for this matchup, it doesn't matter. If it was Mississippi State, I take them. If it was Michigan State, I take them. I don't like North Carolina. This one seed should it. If Iowa State wasn't so low, this would be their number one with a bullet.
Yeah.
Okay. Dan, who do you have?
This one is a tough one. I feel like UNC does have flaws, like you guys have said, but I think against Mississippi State, I think North Carolina wins the game.
We got UNC.
I will die on my hill again.
I feel you, man.
Well, welcome to I want the chaos. It can be chalky, so I'm just here for
I wanted
anything
Long
at this
Beach.
stage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Long
we
Beach.
can't always get what we want, son.
Yeah. We got St. Mary's versus Charleston. I got St. Mary's winning against Charleston.
Yeah, this reminds me of the last year matchup with San Diego State for Charleston.
Yep.
Play a tough defense and you struggle a little bit. You know, it's going to be a low scoring game. and that favors St. Mary's. And I feel like St. Mary's, like, I think is a lot better than years past.
Mhm.
And I think that St. Mary's will at least win 2 games in March. So give me St. Mary's.
Yeah. Against Charleston, if St. Mary's can get past Grand Canyon,
Yeah.
I think they're a good bet to make the Sweet 16. I think they're better at controlling the pace of a match than Alabama or Charleston this matter. So I would say whoever wins that St. Mary's or Grand Canyon matchup, you can pencil them in Sweet 16.
Yeah, I agree. New Mexico versus Baylor. This was what I was waiting for to talk about an incredible matchup. Excellent guards by both teams. I already mentioned for Baylor, you have Dennis, you got Bridges, you got Jacoby Walter, you got Love. Those are 4 great, incredible guards for Baylor. But New Mexico, you got Dent, you got Mashburn, you got House. 3 incredible guards. But the difference I see with New Mexico and Baylor advantage in the coaching, but New Mexico, I think, got the advantage in the big man. I think Joseph is an elite defender. JT Toppin is an absolute stud. I don't know how big 12 schools Damon recruited him when he came out of Dallas, Fort Worth area. I mean, that's a mystery to this day, I still say. I got New Mexico winning against Baylor.
I like it, and this one is I'm really torn between both of these teams because this is going to be a epic matchup if we get it.
Mhm.
And I feel like these teams are very, very similar, in because they are great guards. They got good coaching, and they both like to push the pace, and score like 80 points a game. And I think that Baylor's definitely a better shooting team from the outside than New Mexico is, but I think New Mexico is a better defensive team. They rebound better, and I think experience. Like I said, like experience, like House and Mashburn. They're seniors. They're graduates, right?
Yeah.
They have experience, and I think that wins the day over Ray J. Dennis and Jacoby Walter is a true freshman, even though he's a great player. I'm going New Mexico over Baylor.
Yeah, New Mexico would be my pick as well. I trust their guard play. Patino, I think he's just about a tier or so below Drew, but it's not that big a drop off, and I consider it a massive disparity. And the front court for New Mexico is just so good. Like UNLV may have swept them, but as we saw towards the end of the year, maybe that wasn't so bad. But you could see even in those games, New Mexico was just hammering the boards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they crash the glass.
They have everything you want. I think they can outmuscle Baylor if need be.
Nevada versus Arizona, interesting game. I had Long Beach State going to the Sweet 16, so got something a little different here. And I'm just for the hell out of it, we're going chaos. And we're going to see 2 Mountain West teams in my eyes with Nevada versus New Mexico. I'm going Nevada.
Yeah, but I think that this is an interesting one, and because like I said, I don't trust Tommy Lloyd, and I have I have Shaka Smart losing early. I have Matt Painter losing before the Final Four. I'm also going to have Tommy Lloyd losing before the Final Four as well. And I think that Nevada's talented. Like if Jared Lucas goes off, man, this is a scary team. And I think that Nevada can win the game, but I think Arizona can win at least one more game, maybe. So I got to go Arizona.
Ooh.
Oh God. Can I say none? Can I go third party in this case?
Yeah.
I want Arizona to be okay, but at the same time, Caleb Love has been painfully inconsistent at points throughout his entire career. Ballo is an awful free throw shooter, and Nevada plays very physical. So it pains me to say this, but just put Nevada up in the Sweet 16. Let's embrace the chaos.
And we got 3 West Coast teams in the Final Four, or Sweet 16, I mean. in the West region, and then you got the number 1 seed, UNC, going against 3 West Coast teams. Unlucky for UNC, let's just be honest.
Around this office.
Yeah,
for
that's
45
that's how it goes.
Mhm. And I'm going chaos here with St. Mary's over UNC.
To get that bad one out the way.
This one's tough, and I feel like if St. Mary's can control the pace, I just feel like it's gonna be difficult controlling Bacon on the glass. And you know RJ Davis, he's a fantastic player. And I feel like Michael, you sleeping on RJ Davis a little bit.
He's a beast,
And
man, he is.
And I know you're high on RJ Davis. But I think that UNC can beat St. Mary's if they can speed them up. I got Carolina.
We got 10 minutes, guys. Let's hurry
Okay,
up.
I think the main problem is I have North Carolina losing beforehand. I think they could struggle against teams that play good defense, play with a little bit of pace to their game, or at least opponents who can control the pace and keep North Carolina off balance. So, you know what? Because it's the West, because it's home serve almost. St. Mary's. Let's have some fun. Two West Coast Conference teams in the Elite Eight. Why not?
Oh, I love it.
Oh my God!
I don't have St. Mary's, but if we're rolling with it, it'll work.
Yep. And we got 9 minutes left, so I'm going to go real fast here. I'm going New Mexico.
Yep, New Mexico.
Yeah, run ends for Nevada at that point. New Mexico is better.
They call it the Kansas.
And I'm going to keep my Cinderella, and ironically, I think we just picked the same Final Four I have. So that's a bit crazy, possibly. I'm going New Mexico.
This is tough.
Yeah.
I'm going New Mexico too.
Yeah, I'll take New Mexico at this point. I think
I'll take it
Grand
as well.
Canyon, they might be able to control the pace. New Mexico, I think, can just out muscle them.
Yeah. And
Yep.
for a collaboration bracket, this is looking a lot similar to my bracket. I'm not going to lie.
Well, there you go.
Oh,
Congratulations.
I
I think I have New Mexico and Tennessee right, but I know UConn we put in the
Mhm.
Elite Eight and Kentucky we put in the Elite Eight, so it's not too far off from mine.
Yeah.
And again, I have Houston kind of dropping a little bit, but I'll have one with them winning for sure because I
Yeah.
do like them.
For a chaotic season, it seems like a lot of people have similar few teams in the Final Four. They have the similar New Mexico Cinderella run, but then they have there's a few, maybe a list of 10 teams who could make a run.
Yep. That's kind of how it is.
And here, I'm going Iowa State over New Mexico.
Yeah, I like Iowa State in this game.
Yeah.
I think this is where the Cinderella run ends.
Yep. The Cinderella run ends in the Final Four. Iowa State's defense is just too strong.
Yep. Look at George Mason. Look at VCU. Look at Loyola Chicago.
Look at Butler.
All these were 11 seeds, mid-majors, and Butler was able to make the national championship both of those years, but all the other ones ended in the Final Four.
Yeah, Loyola kept it close. I remember that because it was the one time I was close. I got it right on the money.
And we got Houston versus Tennessee, Final Four. I'm going to go with the Dalton Connect story. Both teams have excellent guards, but I'm going Tennessee.
I'm going Houston. I think Houston's defense will smother Connect here, and I think they hold them under 15
High
points.
High
stakes.
got
High
Houston.
stakes swing vote. Ooh,
You got the deciding vote.
I think the ultimate factor for me is I have Houston missing out on this in my bracket for the reason of if they go on a bad scoring drought, I don't know if they can come back.
Mm-hmm.
And in this matchup, Tennessee's got a strong enough defense. I think they can get those out of Houston enough, while Tennessee has Dalton Connect and a bunch of secondary options that they can rely on. So they could reasonably have one guy go wrong and still go untouched. So I will take Tennessee in this matchup.
And this remains similar to my bracket. I love it.
Hey.
Nice.
Iowa State versus Tennessee. I got Tennessee beating Iowa State. I think this is going to be a great game. I know both of these teams are really well coached, at least in terms of regular season. Both teams have good defenses. Iowa State's defense is better, but Tennessee's offense is better. I'm going to go with the team that comes from the right side of the bracket, which, fun fact, ever since 2017, every single national champion came from the right side of the bracket. So I'm going Tennessee.
Derek, you take this one.
Ooh.
It's tough.
I like Iowa State. I like TJ Otzelberger. Everyone knows that. But Tennessee, man, like Dalton Connect. We talk about him all the time. It's because it's true. This is the one year where Rick Barnes has a very strong offense. And like Tony Bennett's, he's had it rough in the tournament for a long time, but when he had that right combination, he made good on that. So I think you got to look at Tennessee's this year may finally have the winning combination. I'll take Tennessee in this.
Okay. Champion is Tennessee for this bracket. Who do you have?
This was our early game.
Yeah, Tennessee and all right, cool, awesome. So yeah, I just gotta say, man, it was a blast, man.
Oh yeah,
And-
this was fun.
Yep. You gotta stay tuned for my official bracketology on Wednesday night. I'll give my bold predictions before I fill it out, and then I'll give all my reasoning and all that stuff. And it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a movie. So just so you know, so we have Colorado State winning, and we also had Wagner. So, and then hopefully tomorrow, we'll know the other two winners as well. So we can go from there and be more confident in our picks. Right?
For sure.
Yep, that's for real.
Yeah,
Enjoy,
baby.
guys, and thank you, Derek, for coming on. I know.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
thanks for having me, guys.
Much
Oh, no
longer
problem,
than
man. It's always
I thought.
a blast
Oh
having you
no,
on.
we're good. We are fine.
Enjoy, and everyone watching, get those brackets in by Thursday. Enjoy y'all's March Madness.
Yep.